Hello guys, welcome back to the session and a very good evening to everyone, right? So let us see how many of you have joined. In case you are not able to connect live, okay, if you are not able to join live classes, you can always see the recording videos. Yeah, recording will be available. But the main thing is that the PDF, this PDF, I mean the one which I'll be discussing today, I have already send it in the group, right? So you can solve it and then you can always come back to the video and just look at the answers, right? But let us see how many of you have joined for today. Okay, so today we'll do just a second. Today we'll be doing daily readings of day 50, right? Day 50. In our group, the group's name is VARC Hacks by Rohit. You can go and join that group. There you will be getting 50 great reading comprehensions, right? Great questions, great articles. So 49 I have already given, and from 50 I am going to start this series, right? From 50 I am going to take it live. So let's start. Without further ado, let's start. First, I'll give a quick read. I'll explain the every nook and cranny of this this article, and then we'll go to the questions. We'll see if there is any option that are very close, right? So I'll just give a quick read. Now, this passage says, the prospect of creating life in the laboratory is as fascinating as it is terrifying. Okay? You're getting the idea? The prospect of creating life in the laboratory is as fascinating as it is terrifying, right? It is both fascinating and terrifying. What? Creating life in laboratory. Will we really be able to modify the genetic code of a living creature to mold it to our design? Akash, good evening. Yes. So will we really be able to modify the genetic code of a living creature to mold it to our design? Will we be able to resemble different bits of living creatures to create a new one? So the author is generally asking a question here, that whether we will be able to do certain things or not, and what are those certain things. First is, will we really be able to modify the genetic code of a living creature and to mold means to manipulate, to mold it to our design as per our convenience, right? Will be able to assemble the different bits of living creatures to create a new one. Okay, so first paragraph is pretty easy and done. Next paragraph. A few years back, J. Craig Venter announced the creation of living self-reproducing bacterial cell with a DNA sequence produced in the laboratory. Okay, according to Laurie Garrett's 2013 article for Foreign Affairs about this experiment, the creature moved, ate, breathed, and replicated itself, right? So from here you can read again. According to Laurie Garrett's 2013 article for Foreign Affairs about this experiment, what is the experiment? Experiment is to create life in laboratory. You should always get the idea what we are reading. You should always connect the dots, right? The creature moved, right? It moved, ate, breathed, and replicated itself. Garrett quotes from an older interview with Venter from 2019. Now, this line is very important. The quote is very important. There is not a single aspect of human life that doesn't have the potential to be totally transformed by these technologies in the future. So can anyone tell me what does this line means? Let me just erase it. Can anyone tell me the meaning of this line? There is not a single aspect of human life that doesn't have the potential to be totally transformed by these technologies in the future. Can anyone tell me in a simpler words? Yes, can anyone tell me the meaning of this word, this line? Because there is a question from this line. So I want you to read this line properly. I'll be stepping aside. If you can see this, read this line. This is very important because I have given a question on Garrett's quotes. right? There is not a single aspect of human life that doesn't have the potential to be totally transformed by these technologies in future. Okay. So if you don't want to type, okay, I'll be moving ahead. I won't be taking much time. Right. Now, these technologies refer to world of synthetic biology. Okay. We all know creating artificial life in, like, not artificial life, a life basically in laboratory with some manipulation in DNA, that is called as synthetic biology, right? The ability to construct living creatures from the assembly of different parts in a sort of Lego world, right? There is also a question of Lego world in this PDF, right? So we'll just read it again. These technologies refer to the world of synthetic biology. Clear? The ability to construct living creatures, from the assembly of different parts, a sort of a Lego world. We all know what Lego is. Lego kya hota hai? Basically, that is a toy kind of thing we just join to make different kind of structures. We all have idea. Lego world of the living. Playing the game of life is no longer the stuff of sci-fi stories. Now, again, this line is very important. Playing the game of life is no longer the stuff of sci-fi stories. Now we can play the game of life, we can manipulate, we can change the DNA, we can create like living creatures in laboratory. So that's exactly the author is referring. Now, next paragraph. The question, as this technology evolves, which technology? Again, keep in mind the technology of creating lives in laboratory. As this technology evolves, becomes one of the regulation and control. As Richard Lewontin asked in his essay on synthetic biology for the New York Review of Books. Now there is a quote. In case where there is a conflict between the immediate and the long range consequences, or between the public and private good, how can that conflict be solved? Now there is a quotation, so I'll just read it again so that you can have a proper understanding of this quote. Okay, so I'll just erase it. I'll read it again. Because the quotations are generally a part from where questions can be taken. So we cannot just overlook this part. Okay. So in cases where there is a conflict between the immediate and the long range consequences, right? Or between the public and private good, how can that conflict be resolved? So basically we are talking about a conflict and the author itself does not know how to resolve that conflict. Now let's move on to the next paragraph. Now next paragraph says the difference between the Gothic speculations. What do we mean by, what does this word Gothic means? Gothic means something very horrifying, right? Thoda darane wala, we can say. So the difference between the Gothic speculation of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein and today's reality is twofold. Very important line, right? Just let me read it again. The difference between the Gothic speculation of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein and today's reality is twofold. Now, there is a difference between the speculation of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. We know the Frankenstein's monster, right? Victor Frankenstein, like he was a scientist who created a monster, but the intention was not to create a monster, but somehow the consequence was it became a monster. So now the difference between the Mary Shelley's Frankenstein and today's reality is twofold. Twofold means two aspects, two features. First, we are building these creatures. First feature is we are building these creatures. Fiction is now real. Now fiction is not a fiction anymore. It has turned into reality, right? Next, second, money plays a huge role in it. There is a great financial gain in genetic engineering, an industry that, according to estimates offered by Drew and DeForm, Stanford University's bioengineering department, contributes 2% of the US economy. So you can just imagine the significance of this section, this segment. Okay. Now, and is growing at a pace of 12% each year, right? So now you're getting the idea. In case there is any problem or any line you are not able to understand or grasp, just let me know. I'll just explain it again for you. Next paragraph. Next paragraph says the problem. Now, what is the problem? Let us see the problem the author is trying to highlight. The problem, as Lovington reminds us, is that we often cannot rely on those who pursue invention for profit or for military interest to have the public's best interest in mind. Okay, so we often cannot rely on whom? The people who pursue invention for profit, okay, or for military interest to have the public's best interest in mind. Okay, so as we create new life forms, for different purposes, who will control them? Okay, now the author is trying to explain, or basically he is wondering, if we are creating a new creatures in laboratory, who is going to be in charge? Who is going to be in charge? Who is going to control the whole, this segment, this section, right? The stockholders of biotech companies, question mark. I mean, whether it can be the stockholders of biotech companies, the government, question mark. How will we reach a consensus on such a divisive topic that has a clear global reach? Okay, so now there is a question the author is asking, who is going to be in charge of these scientific inventions, whether the companies who are creating this or the government, right? Next paragraph. The stakes are so high and the discussions must be brought into the open, right? The stakes are very high and discussions must be brought into open. There are great possibilities and great dangers. There is money to be made and cures to be found. There is money to be made and cures to be found, right? There are horrible weapons and potential environmental chaos too, right? The biosphere is a complex network of unpredictable interactions. Now this line, the biosphere is a complex network of what? Of unpredictable interactions and resources that affect us and every other voiceless creatures on this planet, right? So if we interact in a way, the similar way the biosphere interacts with us. Okay, so let me read this line again because it is important. The biosphere is a complex network of unpredictable interactions and responses that affect us and every voiceless creatures on this planet, right? Now, last paragraph. I suppose this is last paragraph. Collectively, as the human species, collectively, as a whole, as a collection, collectively as a whole, we must have some control. Collectively, we must have some control over where all this is going. But how? Okay, so the author is trying to say, earlier he was mentioning that who is going to be controlled, whether the companies who are manufacturing these or whether the government. Now he is saying that collectively we should be the ones who should be have control. As a human species, we should have control, right? The opinions of scientists matter. Of course, corporate accountability and manufacturer liability are certainly reasonable. There also should be democratic participation and transparency. We are all stakeholders in this debate. Now, last line. We are all stakeholders in this debate. I mean, every human being or the whole human species should be involved in having control of these technology or these kind of inventions, right? Now, last paragraph. If such technologies are used in wars or terrorist attacks, now, there is always a downside to a technology and it always touches the point of war. And similarly, this paragraph also touches the downside of any technology or any emerging technology, and that is catastrophe, that is destruction, that is war, right? If such technologies are used in wars or terrorist attacks, how efficiently will be able to isolate from them? Okay, so if this if this life form that we are creating, if these are used as weapons, so how we will be able to isolate and keep ourselves aloof from them, right? Judging from The responses to the COVID pandemic, government efficiency leaves much to be desired. We all know what happened in during COVID. The government was very incompetent initially. I mean, gradually there were scientists who came up with the vaccines, but initially everything looked bleak. The future looked very bleak, right? So government efficiency leaves much to be desired. Unless you plant your own organic garden and leave some sort of ecology insulated bubble, synthetic biology will be knocking at your door. So particularly author is trying to say, if you have your own garden, if you are like planting your own trees, like growing your own food, then only there is a way you can survive these biological weapons or these biological things. Otherwise there is no option. Just like corona, it can penetrate in our lives, right? The question then is whether it will usher in a new era of humanity or end up as the latest example of a promising technology that is used to inflict pain and destruction. Such technologies have emerged from physics, nuclear bombs, example, and from chemistry, poison gas like it was used by Saddam Hussein, the sarin gas on Kurds, right? So whenever there is a downside, I have seen this irony, whenever there is a negative side, any author is trying to explain in any article, the usage of nuclear weapon and the biological weapon is the more common. We can say these are cliches of the downside of any emerging technology, right? So now that it's biology's turn, hopefully our past experiences have made us wiser. Hopefully we know a better now. So this was the article, very interesting article. I guess everyone was able to understand. Not very complex because this was science related article. So to grasp these things is not I don't think grasping it was a challenge for us, any of us. Yes, had it been something of philosophy, it would have been a different story altogether. Now, let's go to the question without any delay. Question number 1. If you have read the passage, because 2 hours before I had already sent it in the group. Okay, so let's assume if you have read, or if you have not read, I'll give you some time to attempt, take your choices, then I'll be explaining the answers. Now, question number 1 says, in the light of the passage, Garrett's quotes assert which of the following? In light of the passage के अनुसार, Garrett's quotes assert means explain which of the following, right? Let's read the options one by one. If required, we'll go back to the part where this quote was mentioned, right? Option number A. Human life defies the potential of transformation through technology. Okay, in the meanwhile, if you think you have got the answer, you can just comment. Okay, human life defies the potential of transformation through technology, right? Let us see option number B. Technology in future might be inept in touching all the aspects of human life when it comes to transformation. Inept means not effective. Inept means like incompetent, right? So let me read option number B again. Technology in future might be inept in touching all the aspects of human life when it comes to transformation. Option number C says the advanced technology can penetrate all the aspects of human life. Next, D says in future technology can transform all the facets of human life. Okay, now if you have read this option, if you need some time, you can pause the video, right? Even if it is a live class, you can just pause, right? You can check the options properly, right? Now I'm just taking you back to the part where it was given, right? Now, so it was given. Just a second. It was given, yeah. Second paragraph. Garrett's quotes from an older interview with Venter from 2009, right? There is not a single aspect of human life. There is not a single aspect of human life. Human life का ऐसा कोई भी single aspect नहीं है that doesn't have the potential, जिसका potential ना हो to be totally transformed by these technologies in the future. So to explain it in a very simple language, this line is saying that हमारे लाइफ में, ह्यूमन लाइफ में ऐसा कोई भी चीज नहीं है, कोई भी एस्पेक्ट नहीं है, कोई भी एस्पेक्ट, राइट, जिसे हम चेंज नहीं कर सकते या जिसके पास पोटेंशियल नहीं है चेंज होने का बाय दीज टेक्नोलॉजी. यहां पे कोटेशन ये बात बोला गया. अब देखते हैं इस बात को कौन से कौन सा ऑप्शन रेजोनेट कर रहा है. लेट अस गो बैक टू द क्वेश्चन. ओके, क्वेश्चन नंबर 1. If you think you have selected or if you think you know the answer, I'll be always waiting for your comment. You are more than feel free to comment down below, right? In case you have any doubt, you can also feel free to ask your doubts, right? Now let me eliminate and select. Let us start eliminating the options. Human life defies the potential of transformation through technology. Human life defies means to disobey. Defy means disobey the potential of transformation through technology. Human life can defy or disobey the potential of transformation. Are these words used in a very logical way? Can you just figure out the meaning? Human life defies what? The potential of transformation. Human life has the potential of transformation, not defies. Wrong use of word. So option number A is wrong. Option number B. Technology in future might be inept in touching all the aspects of human life when it comes to transformation. Technology in future might be inept in touching all the aspects of human life when it comes to transformation. Might be. Technology in future might be inept. Now this word, only one word has been wrongly used in this option, and that is why this option can be ruled out. Inept means not capable. Inept means not capable. Now just read this again. Technology in future might be incapable in touching all the aspects of human life when it comes to transformation. But on the contrary, something opposite was given in the passage. In the passage it was mentioned that human life will be capable, will be efficient. So this is wrong. Option number B can also be ruled out. It can be eliminated. Option number C. The advanced technology can penetrate all the aspects of human life. The advanced technology can penetrate all the aspects of human life. Looks okay, but let us see option number D. If these two can be, either of these can be answered, right? In future, technology can transform it. In future, technology, there should be a comma here. In future, technology can transform all the facets. Facets means aspects of human life. This is exactly paraphrasing the quotation from the passage. This is exactly paraphrasing. This is talking the same thing, but just with some different words, the synonymous words, right? In future, technology can transform what? The facets. Facets means what? Aspect of human life. So D is the answer. In case you have any doubt, please do comment down below, right? Please do comment down below, right? So technology in future might be inept due to one word. Option number B was wrong, right? This is not supporting the use of technology or the capability of technology, but in the passage it was supporting the capability, the potential of the technology, right? So option number D is the answer. The advanced technology can penetrate all the aspects of human life. It is okay, but option number D is explaining this in a better way, in a more precise way. That is why option number D is the answer, right? Next, question number 2. Question number 2 says, the author has used the word Lego world to describe. Now, there was the term Lego world, right? I had already explained why the author has used the word Lego world in the passage to describe, and why he has used. Now, just read the options properly. I'll be reading it for you. Then we'll be going back to the part where it was mentioned, and then we can eliminate or select the options. Option number A, it says, to compare fabrication. Fabrication means to building, to construct. To compare fabrication of synthetic biology with sci-fi stories. Has the author mentioned this Lego world to do comparison between synthetic biology and sci-fi stories? You have to decide. Next, option number B. Manipulation in the Lego world is not something that can't be attainable. Manipulation in Lego world was given as an example. लेगो वर्ल्ड का यूज किया जाता है एक एग्जाम्पल की तरह से. हम मैनिपुलेशन लेगो वर्ल्ड में क्यों करेंगे? ह्यूमन लाइफ को लेगो वर्ल्ड की तरह मैनिपुलेट किया जा सकता है, असेंबल किया जा सकता है, वहां ये बात बोली गई थी. ओके, सो बट स्टिल यू हैव टू सेलेक्ट वेदर दिस ऑप्शन इज राइट और नॉट. अभी मैं आंसर नहीं बताऊंगा. ऑप्शन नंबर सी, द पोटेंशियल टू इरेक्ट लिविंग क्रिएचर्स फ्रॉम द फैब्रिकेशन ऑफ different parts. D says the construction of the living creatures and the capacity of their assembly. Right? चलो ये ऑप्शंस मैंने पढ़ लिए, एक बार जाते हैं. Let's go back to the part where it was mentioned Lego world. Okay, let us see where it was mentioned. Yeah, this part. These technologies refer to the world of synthetic biology, the ability to construct living creatures from the assembly. The ability to do what? To construct what? Living creatures from the assembly. From the assembly of different parts in a sort of Lego world of living. Playing the game of life is no longer the stuff of sci-fi stories. Okay, so just I'll be reading it again and I'll take you to the questions, right? Ability to construct living creatures from the assembly. Assembly means bringing different parts and then assembling to create a living creature, right? Is a sort of Lego world. Now let us go back to the option where it was mentioned, and if any one of you thinks who you know the answer, just let me know. Okay, I'll be reading your comments. Which one should be the answer? Come on, guys. I've already explained it in a very simple language. Come on, guys. At least try. Develop your logic. This is how you will be like improving your reading comprehension. No sort of tips and tricks is going to help you. No skimming, scanning, everything kind of bullshit. That doesn't work. You have to be logical and very precise. You have to be an active and avid reader. Right? Come on, guys. Which one should be the answer? The author has used Lego world to describe, to compare fabrication of synthetic biology with sci-fi stories. Second is manipulation in the Lego world is not something that can't be attainable. C says the potential to erect living creatures from fabrication of different parts, and D says the construction of living creatures and the capacity of their assembly. Okay, so I'll be just taking a sip of water and I'll be waiting for your answers. Come on, guys. What should be the answer? Come on. Anyone? What should be the answer? Yes. Anyone? If you want time, I can give you some time. Okay, I'll be stepping aside. And if you want to go back to the passage, just let me know. I'll take you to the part where it was mentioned. Your call. Come on, guys. What should be the answer? I've already explained the meaning, like in what context the word Lego world has been used in the passage. Now you have to figure out. I have already explained in a very, very lucid way. Anyone? Come on, guys. No one. No one. Okay. So now, let us see what should be the answer. Option 1 says to compare fabrication of synthetic biology with sci-fi stories. No author has not used this word Lego world to compare sci-fi stories and synthetic biology. It is not for comparison, right? B, manipulation in the Lego world is not something that can't be attainable. Okay, why we would be playing with the Lego world? That is a toy. We don't want to do manipulation in the Lego world. We want to do manipulation in the with the living creatures, and we took this word Lego world as an example, as a reference. So this is clearly eliminated. This cannot be the answer. Now C and D. The potential to erect means construct, to build living creatures from the fabrication. Fabrication means assembly. Fabrication means assembly of different parts. Looks fine to me, but let us read option number D as well. D says the construction of the living creatures and the capacity of their assembly. Okay, the construction of living creatures, till this part it is okay. Till this part it is okay. 50% of this option is okay, but let us see rest 50% whether it is right or wrong. The construction of the living creatures and the capacity of their assembly. And the capacity of their assembly. Okay, we were talking about assembly, but we were not talking about the capacity. Capacity was not something like that was on the spotlight of this question. So yes, this option can be eliminated. Option number C, as I told, it looks fine to me. The potential to erect living creatures from the fabrication of different parts looks fine to me. Option number C is the answer. In case extreme options, indeed extreme options. See, basically Ankur, why I am using this, why I'm coming up with these questions, these are the questions which I made. These are not taken from somewhere or I have copied from somewhere. Why? Because I don't just want you to read, I want you to practice. People always say 10 number of tips and tricks and just tips to crack VRC. Well, trust me, none of them works. None of them works. The only thing that works is your persistency, and on the daily basis you are practicing this kind of RC reading comprehension. First you have to develop the IQ, the level. First you have to read and comprehend the passage. If you cannot comprehend the passage, or if you cannot if you are not able to understand the lines, let alone to solve the question, that is the different story, right? So I always emphasize students to read and read. There is no shortcut, right? Now question number 3, last question for the day. Let us see how many of you can solve this one. Which of the following can be inferred from the passage except? Now a bit sir, how to find the main idea ASAP? So main idea, okay, we'll be doing in coming up sessions. I'll be incorporating those questions in the session, how to find main idea, or I'll take a session exclusively for the main idea and tone, right? I have just lined up. Those sessions are in the pipeline, okay? I'll be taking some concept sessions as well. One session dedicated to main idea and tone, right? Now, which of the following can be inferred from the passage except? Now, in this question, 3 options will be right and 1 option will be wrong. Basically a sort of true and false question. True and false, right? Which of the following can be inferred? Except. So you have to find the one that is except. 1 wrong, 3 right. Let us see. Option number A. The contrast between speculations, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, and today's reality has 2 parts. Yes, it was given. Okay, let me take you where this part was given. The contrast between, just first read this line and I'll take you to the part where this was given. You have to find whether this option is right or wrong. Now you are supposed to find the wrong one. If you have find out, if you have gotten that, that is your answer. The contrast between speculations, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, and today's reality has 2 parts. Okay, now let us see where it was given. Mary Shelley. Yeah, this part. It says the difference between the Gothic speculation of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein and today's reality, 2 things, had 2 folds, 2 features, right? It is right, it is true. So it is not the answer. It is given. I have already given the PDF. In case if you have having difficulty to understand, any doubt, you can always go join the group, download the PDF and solve it on your own, right? Next option. So that cannot be the answer. Why? Because that is a true statement. This is a true statement. This statement is true. So this cannot be the answer. Option number B. The former part of Shelley's speculation manifests that fiction will soon be real. The former part of Shelley's speculation manifests that fiction will soon be real. Now, former and latter, there is a concept. Former means the first one, latter means the second one. Now, again, we have to go to that part. Now, you know that where you have to look for this answer. Okay. Now, Mary Shelley. The difference between the Gothic speculation of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein and today's reality is twofold. There were two features. Now, former is the first one, latter is the second one. Now, first we'll read the first one. First, we are building these creatures. Fiction is now real. This is the part you have to just consider. Fiction is now real. But the option, what it said? It said it is going to be real. The option was indicating to future event, but it is talking about something that is already mentioned, right? So we got the answer. We got the answer. It says technology in future. Question number 3. It says the former part. Former means what? The first. The first part of Shelley's speculation manifest. Manifest means expresses that fiction will soon be real. This part. But it is not going to be soon be real. It is already real now. So we got the answer. B is the answer. But let us read option number C and D as well. Lewontin reminds us of skepticism of the control of the new life forms. Here it was given. It was given that we should be in control. Option number D, the author suggests that as a human species, we ought to have authority in technologies like creating new life forms. That was also given. The author suggested that as human species, we all should have the regulating authority to control the living, the formation of living creatures and that specific kind of technology. It was also given. So yes, option is B, and it was also indeed a tricky one. Why I made this tricky question? To make you read actively. To make you read actively, right? So I hope you enjoyed this session. More sessions are in the lineup. In case if you have any doubt or any suggestion regarding the series, okay, please always comment down below. I'll be more than happy to address those issues or your problems. Like one issue Ankur has mentioned about he mentioned about the main idea. I have that thing in my mind. I'll be taking one session for the main idea. If any one of you, just like Ankur, if you have any suggestion or doubt or anything that you want a session on, I'll be just arranging a session on that. Okay. So I hope you had a great time. The PDF is available in the group. The group's name is, if you can you can go and join this group. Okay. You can go and join this group. That is VARC Hacks by Rohit. You can go and join this group. You can download the PDF. There will be 50 PDFs, great questions, great articles, great reading comprehension. We are going to have a wonderful doubt sessions, right? Okay. So we are done for today. We'll meet in another session. Till then, happy learning and bye for now.